Hey data enthusiast, welcome back to Guide Coachings, the go-to channel for all things data-driven, where we turn data into actionable insights and make the complex world of data analysis a bit more fun. Today we are diving into an incredibly powerful combination that will transform how you work with data. Ready to take your data game to the next level? Let's get started. All right, let's set the stage. You know Tableau, the rock star of data visualization that brings your data stories to life with stunning dashboards and interactive reports. What if I told you there's a way to surcharge Tableau's capabilities using Python? Sounds interesting, right? Well, it's totally possible, and today we are going to show you exactly how. Imagine being able to use Python's advanced data analysis and machine learning libraries right inside Tableau. How could you perform complex calculations and build predictive models and analysis data in a way you never thought possible, all without leaving your Tableau environment? This is where the magic of PyTab server comes to play. All right, so let's get started. Over here, I'll just click OK and click OK. So I'll just select my state over here. Okay, install Anaconda, download it and install it on your machine. The next is open cmd.exe file app, launch it, and then
Alright, so this was a mistake. I was writing something else over here.
please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. Alright, so let's get started. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how we can connect Tableau and Python together, okay, to make our data analysis much easier and much fun. Okay, so there are certain steps which we need to follow during connection of Tableau with Python. Now here, if you see, here are the steps to connect Tableau with Python. So the first and the foremost step is install Anaconda, download it and install it on your machine. The next is open cmd.exe file app, launch it, and then install the latest Python version on your system. And after that, we are going to start TabPy server. Now what is TabPy? TabPy is a server which is available to execute all the queries onto the server level client server architecture for our data analysis. Okay, now how we are going to do all these things? Don't worry, we are going to practically do all these steps and then we are going to see how we can create a visualization using Python with Tableau. Okay, so stay tuned, and if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. Alright, let's get started. So the first step and the foremost step is install Python. Okay, you need to install Python on your system, so you can go to python.org/downloads and you can download the latest version. So latest version is 3.12.6, which is available when I'm recording the video. This is the latest version, so you can install it. Once the installation is done, it will ask you to close it. So once the setup is successful, you will close it. Once that is done, now you will go to your CMD and type Python -V and it will show you the latest version installed on your system. Okay, once that is done, that is the confirmation that your system have Python now. Okay, now moving on to the next step is Anaconda. So you need to download the Anaconda from free download. Okay, from here you can download it and you can install it. Once you download it, you need to have a package you will have a .exe file. You need to install that. Once that is done, you will see a UI similar to like this, where you will have cmd.exe. So you need to click on that and you'll need to launch it. So once you launch it, it will open a command prompt like this, which will be a base environment, which will be a virtual environment you are going to set up. You don't need to have a jazzy environment setup where you will be installing a pip install. You might be seeing some other videos on YouTube where they are installing the TabPy server, the TabPy client, and then they are using it for the connection. But we don't need to do all those things. We just need to install Anaconda and we can do it on virtual system, and using that we can have a connection and we can use it for our accessibility of Tableau with Python. So what we need to do, we need to set up a virtual environment. So how we can set it? There is a query which we have written over here, conda space create space hyphen name, and then we will give the virtual environment whatever name you want to give, you can give the name. Once that is done, it will ask you yes no, so you will say yes, you will type y and proceed. Once that is done, it will show you that all the files are installed. Okay, now it will ask you to install. Whenever you have older version of Python, at that time you can use Python space -m space pip install, and then you can write --upgrade. So this will install the upgraded Python on your system. Once that is done, you can see that is successfully done. And once that is done, you can say pip install TabPy. Now TabPy is a server which is going to be used for Tableau and Python connectivity to create the visualizations. So we are installing that. Once that is executed, we can see that successfully installed configuration. Okay, that is done. So we will type TabPy, and this is base, this is virtual system where we are installing it. So TabPy will generally take 1 minute to 30-40 seconds to install. Okay, so TabPy, once you type it and you hit enter, it will ask you proceed, do you wish to proceed without execution, without authentication? So you will say yes, and then you will proceed. Okay, once you proceed, it will give you a UI like this, where it will be ask you to allow. Now once you allow it, your connection is done. You can see that web server listening on port 9004. So this is your port number. So you want to validate this port is working fine or not. So for that, you need to go to browser, and over there you need to type http://localhost, and then you will :9004. That is how you need to put, and this is how you will see the Tableau Python server. This is the basic, the simplest one. Once this UI is shown, that means you are connected successfully. Once this part is done, you will be launching your Tableau desktop. Once you launch your Tableau desktop, here in the help section you will find an option. So we'll see on the UI how it looks. So we go to the data source, we are here. Now in here, in help section, we will see setting and performance. So in setting and performance, you have manage external service connection. So once you click on it, it will show you the options. Okay, TabPy and our service. So you need to click on TabPy external API, and then over here you will select the local host, and then here you will add the port number, and then you will test the connection. Once you test it, it will give you this message, successfully connected to external service. This is the success message, and this is how you can connect your Python with your Tableau. So this part is done. Now we are going to create a visualization. We will directly jump onto Jupyter Notebook and we'll write some code, and then we'll validate it, and then we'll use it in our Tableau. I have a list. Okay, this is my list where I have certain numbers. So I have 10, I have -40. Okay, I have 50, then I have 30, -30, and then I have -90. So these are the 6 elements which I have. For this, I'll be writing a function. So I'll say def. We know how to define a function. If you don't know how to define a function, you can click on the I button and you will get the information how to create a function in Python. Okay, so def, we will write looping, and then over here we will complete it. We'll go inside it, we'll say for loop. Okay, for I in arg, and then in the loop I will say I'll create one more list, that is temp, and this temp is my empty list, and I'll say temp dot append. What I want to append, whenever I is greater than 0, append it. Okay, and then I'll say print tmp. Now this is what I want to do. Okay, so this is done. Now whenever I will print my looping, okay, now this is what I am printing. So what it will do, it will check for 10. Okay, I'll just execute it and we'll, yes, sorry, this is the only storing one element per time, because I have not declared my temp outside of the loop. So every time it is initializing and getting the value. All right, so this was the mistake. I was writing something else over here. This was causing us because of the space which I have given incorrectly. So now this is working fine. So if you see, now first element is 10, which is true value. So it is basically holding a boolean value. So if it is greater than 0, it will be true, and if it is less than 0, that means negative, it will be minus. That is, so for minus it will be false. Okay, so true, false, true, false. Now at the end I got the list of these elements where true, false, true for 10, false for 40, 5 for true, 50 for true, and then last two are false, false. So this is how it is going to generate me the list. Now I am going to use the same function in Tableau. So how I can use it? So here I will be creating a sheet. Okay, now here I will be creating a calculated field. So I'll just click on calculated field. I'll click on it, and then I'll say sample, or I'll say sampling. Okay, sampling, and then over here I will be writing. So whenever we are writing any script of Python, we need to write a function that is script. Okay, we can use script boolean, and then inside it we can write our script. So I have copy pasted my script, and inside it I will just create a list over here. Okay, this is my empty list which I am going to use. Okay, this is the list. I'll say my list. I'll say my list, and now this is my empty list which I am going to append to it. So I'll say my list over here, and then over here I'll say, I'm not going to print it. Okay, so I'll just do a return. I'll say return. Okay, and what I want to return? I want to return this as my list. Okay, so my list is returned. Now what I will be doing, I'll be completing this, and over here I will be closing it. Once this is done, I'll say over here, I'll put a comma, and then I'll say sum of profit. So this is what I wanted to use over here. Now if you can see, the calculation is valid. So what exactly is happening over here? I'll just click OK and click OK. So I'll just select my state over here. Okay, and then we'll put the sampling over here. So now we can see that true and false. So if we want to check it out, we can put the profit over here, and we can see that what exactly it is. So if I put sampling into colors, it will give me the colors that, okay, the positive values are coming positive and the negative values are coming as red. So here, from here we can change the colors also. This is how you can connect your Tableau with Python, and you can write your script. You can write your Python scripts in Tableau and access it to make your data more easy and more accessible. Okay, that's all for today, guys. If you like the video, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. Okay, that's all. If you have any questions, any queries, any doubts regarding the topic which I have covered, you can write me a comment, and see you next week.